And there's a saying, I know you guys have heard it. I may have been born on a Friday, but it wasn't last Friday. Like when somebody's trying to sell you some crap and you're not buying it, you say, I may have been born on a Friday, but it wasn't last Friday. Well, I was actually born on a Friday. May 29th, 1998 was a Friday. And I don't remember that, obviously, but I just thought I'd throw it in there. I remember cats and dogs when I was little. My grandparents up here at Myron have raised Jack Russells for generations of the Jack Russells. And I remember when their dog had puppies, I took one of them home. I'm going to have to do a whole episode on my dog because that dog I absolutely love to this day, even though it's long gone. But I remember the first litter of kittens I ever saw, and that was like amazing to me. I was not yet familiar with how mammals produce more mammals, and I don't know whose cat it was. Probably my grandparents had this litter of kittens, and I was pretty young, but it was just fascinating to me. You know, kittens are cute and fun to play with and all that. How they behaved and were like really exploratory and funny and goofy, and how they interacted with their mom, and that smell has never left me. You know, when somebody has like a fresh batch of puppies or kittens, they warm up milk in a bowl and pinch up like a slice of bread into it, and that smell of warm milk and bread, I can just, it's one of those smells that like me just describing it has probably got your brain smelling it for you. And out of that litter, there were 3 cats. No, the one I'm thinking of was a different, the next generation of them. But 2 cats that I kind of took possession of, and my first official cat was Snowball. Snowball was his name. He was white all over, except for his very end of his paws, and the very end of his tail had orange and brown on it. But Snowball stayed at my grandparents', and I took Calico home, who was his sister, and I had a little plastic tricycle. I know you know the one I'm talking about, where the seat opens up and there's like a little storage compartment in the tricycle. And we had a wraparound porch on our house at Hurricane Creek. I didn't have any place else to ride it. I couldn't do it in the yard, and we lived on a gravel road, so it's not like I had like a paved driveway to ride around on. So all I had was the wooden porch, which is not great for those smooth plastic tires. But I remember getting it up to go as fast as I could, and then getting to the corner and having to turn to wrap around. And I can still remember that sound it used to make, because I used to love when it'd go fast. You know, you could hear that vibration. Sounded like that on the wood. And that little kitten, Calico, and this is something you'd see in a Hallmark movie, you know, a kid's compromise with a cat. We had these benches on the front porch on either side of the front door that my grandfather had made out of some pine wood, and it was sitting up on top of one of those. And when the trike came by, I don't know if it was trying to get away from it or, you know, play with it or what, but she jumped in front of the wheel, and I just went right over her, and I felt so bad, and I just kept going. I didn't know at that age, I guess, that things could be injured or hurt or whatever, but I got halfway through my next lap, and I was like, you know, that may have been bad. I may not have been needed to do that. I better go tell somebody. So I went inside and got my mom, and I was like, hey, I ran over the cat, and she was really concerned about it. Ran out there. The cat was fine, completely okay. And I said, yeah, I've been having some problems. You know, she's getting in front of my tricycle, and it's hard to ride because I've been having to go around her, and I think I may have put her up on that bench now that I think about it to get her out of the way. My mom's solution was perfect. It was just the greatest thing I've ever heard. She said, well, why don't you put Calico on the tricycle with you and ride her around? and since then, every time I'd go to do that and ride around on the porch on the tricycle, I would have that little cat in my lap, and it would just sit there and have the best time riding around.